Well, good evening, everybody. We're back from Thanksgiving break, and we're back for the Fastenal Winter Series here in the MPI Xfinity Series. Boy, what a great season it's been so far. And we look to continue that trend here at the Monster Mile in the ARCA car. And boy, it's going to be a great, great time. I'm joined in the booth with my good friends Dakota Wilson, Chuck Felt, and Isaac Mock. Guys, how are we feeling? Can some of us fit in our booths tonight? Some people not able to fit into their racing rigs, as Chuck said earlier. But hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Chuck, how are we feeling tonight? How are we feeling about this race?
I'm feeling really good. I'm excited. And to all viewers and participants, my friends at the booth, happy belated Thanksgiving. I'm excited, Eddie. Especially with this choose cone coming up. It's something new for some of these drivers. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great, exciting race, this track combination.
Yeah, well, Dakota, tell me, man, how you doing? How are we feeling tonight? And how you looking forward to this race?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a short track snob, but I'm glad we're moving on to some tracks where these boys can really stretch their legs out in these ARCA cars. So it's probably gonna be a pretty good show. It's from watching practice, it's gonna be a handful, but it's gonna be a good one.
And Isaac, we haven't had you in the booth so far, but you've been trying to get in a pit reporter. We pressured you into joining the booth. Looking forward to some good racing tonight. How you doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
Man, I'm blessed. It's my first time on this side of the screen. Normally I'm racing, so we'll see how this thing goes, and we'll see if the monster is still hungry from Thanksgiving.
Come on. I love the way that sounds. Take a look at your schedule. We are now into round number 3, getting ready for some playoffs, man. Excited to see how that's going to play out. But here at Dover, Milwaukee Mile next week, and then we'll finish up round number 3 at ARCA. Going to be a great, great season. We'll take a look at your point standings as we run. Greg Lautenschlager, he has been just kind of surprised how he just pops up out of nowhere every few weeks with just being consistent, and that's a big, big thing. So you see Alex Coffett there in second place. That's Alex Coffey. Adam Lancaster, and look at the gap between first and fifth. That is just 7 points between all of those guys. So really, really incredible season so far. And I think it's only going to get better as we get into the big track stuff, where a lot of guys are a little bit more familiar with how this plays out. So Isaac, I think you've got us with the car analysis this week. Tell us a little bit about what we're moving into this round.
Man, this is the ARCA Chevrolet as it's portrayed in the sim. It's got 650 horsepower. It is only 4 gears. The thing weighs about 3,300 pounds. It's a little bit different from Gen 4, which we've seen. Same view, same model, just a little bit less horsepower in this thing.
Well, I love the ARCA car. I think the high horsepower one's pretty awesome, but there's a soft spot in for this version, and I think it races maybe a little bit better. So I'm hoping to see some really, really good action tonight. And Chuck, tell me about the choose cone here tonight. Something new that guys are going to be dealing with. Tell me a little bit about it before we get ready to get this thing rolling.
All right, Eddie. So yeah, the choose cone, although we don't have the actual arrow marking on the track, they use in the start-finish line. And the drivers have been prepped throughout the week, and in the drivers meeting, they have to be completely and obviously on the high side or the low side as their car starts to cross the start-finish line. And they have to be perpendicular to it, meaning straight on. Whether you're high or low, that doesn't matter. That's the choose part of it. But they can't cross the start-finish line at an angle at any point. If they do, as in real life, they will get EOL for not crossing the start-finish line appropriately. And some guys are familiar with this. This has been introduced earlier in the MPI series, but it may be new for some drivers. So if you're not paying attention and you're not completely straight on either zone, you could end up getting an EOL, and that could play a factor tonight, especially for the guys that are not familiar with this format.
Well, great breakdown by you, Chuck. But let's talk to last week's winner, Steven Stempien. We didn't get a chance to talk to him before the end, before he had to cut loose a couple weeks ago when he won in New Hampshire. And Steven, this is Eddie, Dakota, Chuck, and Isaac in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. What's going on, boys?
Well, we didn't get to talk to you about New Hampshire, so we'd like to talk maybe just one question about New Hampshire. I mean, you dominated that race. I mean, you actually seemed kind of surprised about how well that went for you. Talk a little bit about that and that win that you were able to get a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I never did those cars before. That was the first time for me. So to go out and do what I did last time we were out in something that I've never raced in was quite an accomplishment for me. But that was my home track, so I mean, I guess that's expected of me at my home track.
Yeah, you got a little home field advantage there at New Hampshire. Well, here at Dover, I mean, you're pretty dang close to Dover too. How you feel about? We talked a little bit before the race, and you said this is one of your favorite tracks, and you know this car track combo is one of the best. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been dealing with COVID or flu over the last 3 days, so this is gonna be a struggle bus. But I love this track. This is a really good track of mine. I got my first win here on iRacing with this combination in officials back in the day, and I've been really good here every car I've been in. So I'm hoping it continues. I didn't really get much practice in, but that worked out in my advantage last week. I got like 10 minutes of practice in last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, and ended up winning. So hopefully bring that luck again with me this week. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right, man. Well, thanks for talking to us, and good luck here tonight.
I appreciate it, guys. You guys enjoy the show and enjoy, and hopefully I'll talk to you later.
There you have it. A couple weeks ago's winner, Steven Stempien. Sounds pretty confident, and I think these guys are just happy to be back on some big track stuff. So, speaking of track, Dakota, tell me a little bit about what we're racing tonight.
Yeah, so it's located in Dover, Delaware. It was opened in 1969. It seats just shy of 59,000, and it's a mile in length. It's pretty banked. It's banked 24 degrees in the turns and 9 degrees on the straightaway. So it's what they call a self-cleaning racetrack. So usually when a car or a group of cars wreck, everything tends to flow to the bottom, and it really makes for a challenge if you're kind of keen on running the low side and you see everybody wrecking, you're gonna have to get up high. So it's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, Dover, one of my favorite racetracks. Talking about those self-cleaning, sometimes it can be track blocking like Jimmy Johnson did that one time, and just the whole track completely blocked. And we've seen that a ton of time here on iRacing. So it was wonderful to see something like that tonight. Kind of hope not, as we are getting ready to get this thing gridded up. And we'll go ahead and jump into the grid now as soon as we see folks get in here. So here we go. All right, well, let's jump right into the grid. Let's not waste any time. And look here, Ross Harlow. Harlow front row. Got both Ross Harlow and Stephen Harlow there in first and second. Pretty cool to see that. In third and fourth, it's going to be Alex Huffman and Kyle Benson. In fifth is going to be your points leader, Craig Lautenschlager, and Jonathan Cofield. Somebody to watch out for here tonight for sure in that sixth spot. Seventh, Richard Swavely in that Impala number 32. Good-looking paint scheme tonight. Looking forward to seeing that out on track. Maybe get up front. Josh Lokovitz there in eighth. Ninth is going to be your last races winner, Steven Stempien, and probably a hopeful here. Somebody we ought to look out for as well is Shane Wyatt here in 10th. Chuck, you want to take 11th?
Yep, sorry. 11th, Adam Lancaster is 11th, and Charlie Stevens is in 12th. And 13th is Christopher Bishop, and then 14th is Matthew Jorgensen. And 15th, we have Blaine Wilson, and Barry Knapp is starting 16th. 17th is Jason Hastings, and Eric Schaefer is starting 18th. Alex Coffey is starting 19th, and in 20th is Cody Kinsey.
21st will be Parker Bland, and then Johnny Shade, my favorite name in the grid, going to start in 22nd. And then 23rd, Stub Nation, Rise Up. Timothy Stubblefield going to start in that number 92 Chevrolet Impala. But boy, they are rolling. You can hear the engines starting to rev up as they get ready to get onto the track. And let's take a look at your race analysis as we jump into this. Fixed setups, 120 laps, no stages here tonight, 4 total tire sets, as you're probably going to need them. Very, very one of those tracks that really likes to eat up tires for sure. So you're probably going to need those tire sets, especially we have a lot of caution. So we'll see how that all plays out. Come heading down the back stretch. Who y'all got tonight? Give us some quick calls. I'm gonna take. I'm taking Jonathan Cofield here tonight.
I'm going to go Richard Swavely. This guy prays for this track to be on a schedule every season. He knows how to get it done here. That's going to be my guy.
Well, since Isaac took my driver, I was going to take Swavely. I think I'm going to take our pole sitter, Ross Harlow.
Well, every time I do it, I end up being a broadcaster curse, but I'm going to go with Coffee one more time.
Well, I think those are all pretty dang good picks. I think we can go to Vegas with those picks, and probably all of us win money at the same time. I don't know how that would work, but we'd probably get it done. I love Dover.
I'm just going to go ahead, because it's broadcaster curse, I'm going to go ahead and apologize to Coffee, but he's still my pick.
Well, while we're on the, we got one more cool down lap. I want to thank our sponsor, our big one, of course, is Fastenal, for supporting this series where industry meets innovation. Just a great brand, and just so thankful to have them a part of this series. Want to thank MPI, obviously, for being a part of this whole league, and then Martin Sports for coming on board this season and offering some really awesome support, and along with SimWrap Market for their support as well. So. And they actually sponsored that last race that we had. So SimWrap Market, I think they got a little sale going on right now, so you might want to look into that if you're looking for a paint scheme. So pace car, though, pulling off. We're getting ready to go green. 120 laps here at Dover, Delaware. Ross Harlow, Stephen Harlow going to lead us down to the green flag. And green flag is out here at Dover. Lap one in the book. Ross Harlow will take over the top spot. And what y'all notice in that camera right away is just how fast this track is at Dover.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's such an awesome track. It don't matter what car you're in. Really selling off into them turns, trying to keep that thing on the bottom, catfishing like our good buddy Richard Swavely likes to call it. And then if you jump that low line and get in that outside wall, it's not a fun time.
Yeah, it's almost like being on train tracks. You're in that groove, and it seems like you got a lot of place to race, but you know right away, and you can see there's not a lot of side-by-side racing at the moment. It's because you get out of that one particular groove. It's a lot like Darlington, where if you're not in the groove, you are super slow. And like right here, you got Kyle Benson side by side with Stephen Harlow, and they're just going to slow them down quite a bit because they can't use the whole track. You actually see Stephen Harlow get into the wall just a little bit. So that is something to think about. Is, man, we've got guys really trying to make up some spots here. It looks like Jonathan Cofield was actually trying to go. Alex Coffey down on pit road. So I don't know if problems. I don't know if he had a penalty. I'm not aware of any penalties, but he is going down pit road, and it's a little bit too early to be going down pit road, boys.
We had somebody on the inside wall. I didn't catch the number.
Yeah, we got a caution here.
Oh, yeah, caution is out. I'm not really sure who the problem was or who caused it. It's like, I don't know if y'all can, maybe Hastings? Anybody can go back and check. Well, I should go to the replay here and see if we can find it. It was, yeah, look at there. Hastings down to the inside wall, just like Chuck said. Just Gets a
Looks
little
like
bit
yep.
loose. Yeah.
Yep, this looks like a little loose. I don't know if he got loose. We don't have telemetry in our replay, so I don't know if he got on the throttle a little too quick or if the car just snapped. But there was no contact, I don't believe.
Well, he's going to bring that 49 machine down on pit road, and looks like somebody else is going to follow. Alex Coffey still sitting on pit road. I don't know, Isaac, if our pit road reporter can maybe find out what happened and report back to us so we know what's going on. He's on pit road for now 1 minute and 7 seconds, so not really sure what's going on with Alex, who, Chuck, I think you jinxed him right on lap 1.
Yeah, like I said, I said it. I apologize, Alex. My bad. I'll never pick you again, so I don't jinx you, brother. To remind our viewers, Eddie, this is a no quick repair / fast repair, whatever you want to call it. This is a zero fast repair series, so depending on the damage, I don't know how much damage he has.
Well, let's take a look at it real quick here, Chuck, if you want to, and see if maybe we can find out from his point of view what happened. Here he is back here. This was on lap 1. He's driving well off the pace. You see the field just kind of driving off. I don't know, guys. What are y'all seeing? I mean, he's got somebody right behind him. I don't know what's going on. So then a few laps later, he comes down pit road. So
Yeah, I was actually reading the live chat on YouTube, and I'm assuming this is his wife Kelly says he's actually recovering from surgery. So just probably a start and park ordeal right there.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I didn't know that. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's some dedication right there. Probably in a lot of pain and coming out here to get those points. We'd love to see that. Okay. Well, that's good info from, who is that from? Kelly?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for that info.
Absolutely, and respect for Alex for his dedication to being a participant of the league. But here we go, boys, with the initial choose cone thing, which I spoke about at the beginning of the broadcast. They're going to be coming to a choose cone. I don't know if it's a slap or the next one, but this will be new for some people and not new for others. So we'll see what this choose cone does for some of these drivers.
Yeah, great point. So coming to the one to go, they will have to pick a lane. So Chuck's right. We're going to get to see the first ever choose cone in the Fastenal Winter Series. So we'll see how it all plays out. To see Ross Harlow, Kyle Benson jumping down to the bottom early, going ahead and making the decision. I feel like it's easier to make those decisions earlier than later because race control, man, I'll tell you what, if you sneak into that red zone, they will definitely get you. Oh, my goodness, it looks like the 14 squeezes Blaine Wilson, I think.
Yep, doing late changes, which that's, and that's okay. You can try and quote unquote play the game, but you also risk getting the penalty.
Yeah, so interesting to see that. And also we I don't know if we did this. We would definitely want to wish Alex Coffey a speedy recovery from that surgery. Definitely want to send some good vibes towards his direction. So I don't know if I said that already, if anybody did, but we definitely want to do that. So all
Absolutely.
right, getting ready to go. The first choose cone went pretty good. I don't see any EOLs, so that's always good. So we're getting ready for our first restart of the night here on lap number 9. Ross Harlow, Alex Huffman going to be your front row now with Kyle Benson right behind Ross Harlow as he comes to take the green. Green flag back out. Ross Harlow with an amazing jump there out front. See a little bit of contact with the wall there. But just look how fast these cars are driving. It's just man, what a fast racetrack. You see Kyle Benson side by side with Alex Huffman. up and trying to use that. It seems like that outside line may not be super great on these restarts. Maybe why Benson chose that bottom line, but you're seeing what you can do with it if you're as skilled as Alex Huffman is, which is get a huge run and force Benson to have to lift off the corner then on the bottom, and he's going to lose a spot to Jonathan Cofield from that exchange. Here comes Huffman to the inside of Ross Harlow. Well, I hope we get to see, look how loose he is. He's putting a lot of counter steer off that corner. I want to see if we can, I definitely want to see if we can get some long green flag runs, because I think that's where Dover, Darlington really shine, is whenever you can get those long green flag runs. And it really separates the men from the boys when it comes to this particular track.
Eddie, I will update you super quick. Alex just messaged me. It was intentional, not to caution, but he did do a start and park. Started and parked it to get the points for starting, but that was his intention. So I did get an update from Alex Coffey.
Well, you stole Isaac's thunder. Sorry, Isaac, but Chuck is on it tonight. I love it. I like that both of you trying to get some. I mean, I think Dakota hit was with the first info, then Chuck come in with some more, and then Isaac ready and waiting. That's what kind of booth I'm working with tonight. We got some heavy hitters. Man, look at Alex Huffman looking down to the inside, not quite able to get there just yet as Harlow really protecting that bottom, but doing a good job of keeping his momentum up. And we got some cameras here tonight, and I always like to show off those cams if we can. And here we got Ross Harlow, your leader, number 19, in which is a weird number for him. He's usually the number 5, I believe. But his brother Stephen Harlow with that number here tonight.
Crazy thing about Ross, when you watch him drive on these driver cams, that dude is ice cold calm every single week. He is just ice cold killer, ready to go.
Yeah, you're right. He's a good broadcaster, too. He ought to need to get into the booth. He's too fast to be in the booth right now. But if he ever starts to lose some ability, he can jump up in the booth and have a pretty good time up into the booth. And you see Alex Huffman have to lift just a little bit, gets a little bit loose there. As once you lift, you see the momentum that you lose, and Jonathan Cofield there to take advantage of it. That's such a frustrating thing. Alex trying to make a move for the lead, just trying to hang it all out there, and once you have to slip up just a little bit, Cofield there to take advantage of that. Man, look at Huffman. He is really doing a great job of defending and not letting Cofield get out in front. So really good battling going on here as, man, Cofield actually had to lift, and now he's going to lose a spot to Kyle Benson potentially.
Yeah, that's what makes Dover such a dynamic racetrack. You can see it coming out of the turns, you know, like the 24 degrees banking, coming down that 9 degree straightaway banking. You actually pop up just a little bit as you can see the cars as they're exiting the turn. It really makes the rear end, you know, very light, and that's why you see most of these guys getting loose and smacking the inside wall. Got another caution here too.
Got a wreck.
Oh, looks like Blaine Wilson slow. Steven Stippian, number 81, he has got some damage to the front end, and we're under caution again.
Man, that's a shame. Steven Stippian actually been making some moves through the field just a little bit as well.
Take a look at the replay and see what happened. It's like the 13 is on the outside of him. Steven's going to get a little bit loose. The 13 of Craig Lautenschlager is going to get loose along with him and comes down and right hooks him incidentally. And he goes for a little spin, a little bit of damage on the front end of that number 81 machine. So let's go back and look from a different point of view. This was a battle for about the 5th position. Steven there down on the inside and coming off the corner. Steven's going to get loose, but look at, and when they just kind of come together. Oh. And that brings out our second caution of the night. So, I mean, just hard racing there, I think, boys.
That kind of came up to what Dakota was talking about earlier. When these cars come off off the corners of this track, they are so unsettled until probably about halfway down the straightaway, and it looked like both of them were unsettled there, and they just met in the middle, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's always a bummer when that happens, because you never know how much of it's net code or what, and they both were getting loose, so you kind of lose track of where each corner of your car is, and it was sort of the worst combination where Steven was getting loose on the bottom, and he was if you get loose on the bottom and the car just wants to go down to the inside wall, well, obviously you do a little counter steer to keep that from happening, but it also can cause a little bit of a tail slap where you got to kind of whip the right rear towards the outside wall, and then you've got Craig doing the same thing, but he actually comes back down. It was just a bad deal there between those two. Luckily, Steven didn't get that much damage. He's on pit road right now fixing it, but I don't think the hit was that bad. Hopefully not, anyway.
Well, there's another mindset that we could potentially speak about. Now that we're getting into more cars that are familiar with everybody, the first couple of cars people weren't necessarily familiar with. Now that we're getting into cars that people are more comfortable with, maybe some drivers have lost some points on the first couple sets of cars, and now point-wise, they need to be a little more aggressive. I'm not saying that's what happened there, but what I'm saying is we may see a level of aggression amp up as we get closer to the playoffs, as we get into cars that fellas are more familiar with.
Oh, that's a great point, Chuck. Man, that's great analysis from you, Chuck. Man, you're becoming a damn good announcer. I love that analysis. I think you're absolutely right. I think these guys now have, the last couple trying to find my camera here. The last couple, rounds have been guys maybe just taking it a little bit easy if they weren't comfortable with it. We had some short track guys who get aggressive early, but I think you're absolutely right. They get into this particular car and they're super comfortable right out of the gate. So I love that analysis from you, Chuck.
Well, again, we're talking points. There may be guys who are definitely comfortable in the point standings, but we only got this race before this race and next race, and then we're in the playoffs. And so guys gotta gain some points if they're mid pack or beyond. So guys can't be passive at this point.
All right, well, we're coming to the choose. We'll see where everybody chooses to go. Ross and Alex going to split the front row. And everybody getting away cleanly. Haven't seen any penalties just yet. I don't think we got a penalty out of the I don't think we got a penalty out of the first one, so that's a good sign. We did have Cody Kinsey with an EOL penalty. I don't know what that's about, but he goes to the back. Not sure if there was another incident that we're not aware of. And Isaac, I think he's got a report from TOW.
Cody Kinsey actually asked for his EOL over in-game chat. There was a warning after the first choose call from race control saying let's clean it up, don't have anybody overlapping. I did jump to tow and talk to those guys down in pit road. Steven Stimpian has about a minute worth of damage, says he'll be all right. Parker Bland has been making some hefty passes through the field. Car's driving okay, still trying to figure out, and Ross Harlow says that thing is driving like an absolute dream right now.
All right, well, there you have it. Good info from Isaac, and we're getting ready to go green here on lap 24. Still got just under 100 laps to go. Ross Harlow going to lead them down to the green flag. He's going to have Jonathan Cofield right behind him and Alex Huffman on the outside. Ross gets another good jump here. Green flag back out. You were going to say something, Chuck?
I was just going to say, in regards to the choose cone real quick, unless you have a live spotter, like in real life, they have a spotter saying who's going high and who's going low in front of you. You can only see what you can see out of your windshield. If you're just using the iRacing server spotter, you don't know the numbers. You don't know who's going high, who's going low, except for a couple cars, unless you have a real life spotter. So that could play an effect too versus real life.
Yeah, some leagues do some different things. As Jonathan Cofield now up to second and is putting some pressure here on Ross Harlow. But yeah, some leagues do some different things. I think we had some people, somebody mention that one of their leagues takes a Legends car, Race Control drives a Legends car out there and sets it at the start-finish line, and everybody got a great laugh out of that. It's a hilarious idea, although all I can think of is some jackleg running into the Choose car. So, but it's a cool idea, like an orange Legend sitting out there at the start-finish line. It's a pretty funny idea.
Yeah, the choose cone thing definitely, I love how it's been. However, any given league institutes it or operates it, I do think it does definitely add strategy, and because I mean it does, and it's another aspect, bringing the realism into it, and strategy. Anytime you can introduce something that strategy-wise that can affect the race, is a good thing.
Well, we got a race on our hands right here. It's hard to turn away from the lead pack because it has been just incredible racing. Ross Harlow hasn't given up the lead, but man, it is a lot of pressure. He's having to kind of use those that ice water he's got in his veins to keep these guys behind him. Of course, he is driving a Kellogg's Terry Labonte-like scheme, so definitely driving like an Ironman for sure. But crossing over to lap 31, everybody's starting to get settled in. Nobody up in the top 15 at least has come down pit road for a set of tires. So tires starting to wear out pretty good, but we're not really seeing a whole lot of migration up the track. Everybody right around the bottom. Sometimes you see guys drive in there, push up the track and drive off, like the Xfinity car seems to really like to do that on long runs. But I don't know, guys. Are you interested to see everybody still kind of bottom feeding?
I think guys are trying to do their best to just log laps. At this point, I think it's going to amp up. We have, I think it was Stephen Harlow I saw, just went around my camera. A little bit side-by-side racing there, but I think guys are just kind of logging laps right now, in my opinion. But it's going to ramp up for sure.
That battle with Harlow, it actually seemed like he missed the bottom just a little bit and made a slight bit of contact. I think personally under that last caution, I probably would have came and got a set and just to see what it could do. Because if we get a long run here, these guys are going to be really, really wishing they had some fresh tires on these things.
Yeah, I mean, going back here, Steven Sempian, who did come down pit road, and I would imagine he had to have taken 4 tires. I'm not sure, but regardless, he's still on the move. He's up to 11th right now. He just made a pass on Matthew Jorgensen, so he is, look how much better through the middle he is than that car in front of him. That's Charles Stevens Jr. So last race's winner, after that contact, continues to move forward. He's got to have tires. Look at him get to the outside. That is a scary pass to do. I'm talking about you got to have some big cojones to make a move like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was amazing. I saw it. My camera was right there, too. That was an amazing pass.
Oh, it's Shane Wyatt. It's going to get into the wall. Big hit to the right front of that 27 machine as he was probably just trying to let Stempian go, but we talked about it. You get out of that groove, the car just does not react well, and that is going to be big damage on the 27. You do not want to have that right front be tore up, especially here at Dover. And you can tell he's struggling through the middle of the corner, so I think that damage is going to be pretty bad. Hopefully he can. Oh, he got a wreck. Jorgensen's going to go. Oh, half spin. Christopher Bishop, caution is out. Race Control jumps ahead of that one and brings out the caution, third caution of the night. And we were kind of watching that, but we'll take a look at it one more time here on the V-Speed replay.
Yeah, on this track and car damage model, I think you get
take a look at this replay here, Chuck.
Yeah, I feel he'll have some steering damage for real.
Damn, just coming off the corner and he's lifting, just try to stay off of Shane, and it just seems like whenever you have to lift, man, it just really throws off the balance of the car as he got really tight, which caused him to get into the wall. And then it was just a sort of a melee after that. You can see Shane kind of slow on the outside with that damage, and Jorgensen's to the inside and bam, right into the wall. and then it just kind of goes from there. So,
Well,
caution,
Isaac,
but pit road wide open here, Chuck.
yeah, I was going to go to our pit reporter, Isaac. Looks like we got almost everybody coming down pit road. What are your thoughts?
I think these guys are past screaming for new tires. Everybody's going to want 4 tires on this thing. The one guy I thought, I guess he might still have some damage, Steven Stimpian, I thought he might would try to stay out and use those fresh tires that he already had that weren't having about 3 or 4 laps on them to his advantage and maybe try to take the lead of this race. But I'm guessing he might want to fix a little bit more damage. But nonetheless, everybody is screaming for 4 tires right now.
Yeah, I think it would be such a disadvantage. Maybe not for Steven, but for anybody to stay out, that would be a wild idea. Now, Richard Swavely did stay out. Now, he did come down about 17 laps ago, so he has got that set already used. So he is kind of doing that same strategy. That 32 machine, which is a good-looking machine. Take a look at this paint scheme. I really like it. I'm a sucker for this color blue, and I think it's a good overall looking paint scheme. But Richard Swavely doing a little bit of that strategy, came in a little bit earlier. I don't know, guys. It seems like here at Dover, the middle of the corner is just so important, and to be out on older tires, that middle of the corner is just too dang important. I think he's going to get eat up, but he might be able to settle in, in the top 10, and it might be a pretty good little call there.
Yeah, for sure, and it's actually a scary thing. This is probably the only track on the sim that Richard loves. I mean, he's been licking his chops since the schedule come out. He's like, I don't care. I'm running Dover. He's coined the term Dovernate. It's kind of the play on dominate. Any other track, especially super speedways, he's like, block them off and fill it with water and stock it with bass. But Dover, Dover's got a special spot in his heart.
Yeah, I would think negatively about somebody if they said they had a problem or didn't like Dover. It'd be a weird thing to say. I don't think those words would ever come out of my mouth.
I agree as well. In fact, I think Dakota said it. I love this track. I mean, there's other cars I would rather drive versus other, but I don't care what car track combo. It's a great track, and pretty much for the majority of the cars, it's a great venue, real life or sim world. This place is just amazing.
All right, I don't know if we're going to choose right now. Looks like we're going to go another lap. Nope, this is choose cone. So we're going to watch as Richard goes down to the bottom. Ross going to choose that high line. I think that's smart. I don't think, on older tires, and Richard, probably if he's listening to the broadcast, he's like, oh, come on, give me a break. But, if you're in that position, if you're Ross, you've been out front, you want to maintain that track position. Somebody staying down on 17-lap old tires. You want to have that nose in clean air. You want to be able to not have to follow somebody with a little bit older tires. While Richard may be just plenty fast, he's still going to be a little bit slower than brand new fresh ones. So I think it's a good call for Ross to take that top side there on the restart. And I think Cofield will be the one to have to make the decision on, being a little aggressive or how he wants to deal with it going forward. So.
I'm actually, maybe this is why I don't win. I'm a little surprised. I figured on a little bit older tires, take the high side on the restart because it's less of an arc. You get that momentum, but apparently that's why I don't win races.
Well, I think either call could be good, but I was just talking about Ross being on the outside just to be able to get that clean air, not go down into the turn behind Richard. And be able to keep sailing out front. We're getting ready to go green here on lap 41. Richard Swavely gets a pretty good jump. Ross honestly didn't get a great jump, so maybe that high side's got a little bit of problem with wheel spin. We've seen that before.
It seemed like Ross tried to time the jump and missed it by a country mile, and now he's going to be really fighting himself out of a hole now.
Well, he didn't waste any time, jumped right to the inside of Jonathan Cofield. Now he's going to set his sights on Richard Swavely, who I'm honestly really impressed. I think Richard's doing a great job here. I thought they would get him pretty quickly, but, I mean, he last pitted 21 laps ago. That's about 17 laps on these tires. He's doing a great job. So I think he is sort of a Dover master.
What did you say, Dakota? Dovermater, or what did you call him?
Yeah, he passionately calls it Dovernating. I don't know what it is, but he absolutely just loves this place, and I mean it's showing right here on the older tires. He's got just a tiny gap in between him and Ross there, so maybe with him dictating the race, he can keep the lead here.
Oh, Richard's gonna get out of the groove there. Here comes Ross down to the inside. That's all it took was one little small mistake, and you can't do it here at Dover. Now he's in trouble. He's all the way back to third as Jonathan Cofield gets loose. Saves it. Holy cow, what a save from the 58 machine.
Absolutely. What a save that was. I don't even think he hit the inside wall.
I mean, it threw smoke like the game said he did, and I think you're right. I don't think he did at all. Look who we got coming up through the field. He's making a pass on Josh Lokovitz for the 4th position. He's going to get loose there, but Steven Stipien, after that spin, is now back up front. You see Adam Lancaster, I believe, I don't know who that was getting loose there on the backstretch, but here comes Steven. He comes off the corner. He is letting it all hang out off of turn number 2. He is really driving the wheels off that number 81 machine. Now, so far, your biggest movers as we continue to watch this battle, though, and we'll jump back to him, is Eric Schaefer. Eric Schaefer started in the 18th position. Now he's up to 9th. So he is having a great run here tonight. I think he would call himself a short tracker, but it seems like Dover being really good to him so far. But as you get into the top 10, it sure does get harder and harder to make those spots up. And starting to slow up just a little bit, but he's doing a great job here in the 2nd position. Kyle Benson, as we go back here, he's right on the back bumper of Ross Harlow. Harlow able to get that lead back, and then look behind him. It's Steven Stipien back to 3rd place. He ain't playing around. I'll tell you, he is ready to go. And I think Kyle Benson probably sees that and says, hey, if I'm better than Ross, I got to get going. Richard Swavely starting to fall back just a little bit after that little slip. He was leading, had it doing a really good job out front, and that little slip up, he's now fallen back to 5th, right behind Josh Lokovitz, who's having another great run. He started in 8th up to 4th, so he is doing a good job. Got that 79 machine pointing in the right direction. Got a little VSR in on the quarter panel, which I sure do love myself. But up front, man, it is a tight battle. As you look out the back bumper of Ross Harlow, but Kyle Benson really putting the pressure on him here.
Yeah, and Kyle Benson, he's actually, we got a caution here.
Caution is out. I don't know who for.
Looks like it might be the 3 of Parker Bland.
Take a look at it here on this replay. See if we can see. I don't see any incidents. We'll go back and look, though. You can see some tire smoke up here, but looks like the caution.
I believe it was Johnny Shade.
Johnny Shade, okay. Got the 27 of Shane White looking down to the inside. We'll see if there's any contact. Oh, there it is. Yeah, good call there, Isaac. A little bit of a little slide there. I don't know. Was that a race control caution or what? I mean, that was sort of a wild caution. He just got sideways for a second, and the caution comes out. So,
I'm looking at the service screen. I'm not seeing any race control caution. I'm pretty sure that was iRacing.
Well, there you have it. All right, then. So iRacing quick on the throw there, as unless we just missed something else, but we'll contact with Shane White, who has admittedly had some damage, and looks like that right front is looking a little bit better right now. So that 27 was trying to move himself back up into the top 10, was up there running inside the top 10, and then had some contact with the outside wall that really hurt his car. So he's been able to get that fixed. Now back on the hunt up to 13th now as we are back under yet another caution. All right, guys. Well, who surprised y'all so far in this race? Who is, I mean, you feel good about your picks. I know, Chuck, you don't probably feel good about your pick. You know what, Chuck? We'll let you repick. You know, I don't think it's fair that you have to pick somebody you didn't know was going to be starting parking. So we're going to give you a little bit of advantage right now. Who you got here tonight? Just kind of change your pick as we're about halfway.
Well, I don't know if this is fair. This is out of brotherhood and sentimental value. I'm not saying it because he's up front there, but I'm going with Ross only because one, obviously he's a great driver, but he's a fellow Marine Corps brother, and me being in the Marine Corps, I gotta back my brother, man. Semper Fi, Ross. So I'm going with Ross.
All right, well there you have it. As we go to the choose cam a little bit too early, is they were definitely going down the back stretch. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the race so far as we got another caution here.
Yeah, it's been a good one so far, and I'm pretty surprised with Kyle Benson. You know, he's run good, you know, in the previous weeks, but you know, it's not an easy task, you know, trying to trail Ross Harlow. Speaking from experience, he's one of the hardest dudes to pass, and Kyle's done just an exceptional job. So, you know, staying with him, hoping he makes just one of them rare slip-ups and he can get by him.
Here we go for the choose cam. Ross going to the bottom. Stimpy and going to follow him there as well.
Speaking from a ton of experience, once Ross gets in a groove, it is almost impossible to get him out of it and get around him. Two biggest things I have right now is seeing just how well Steven Stimpy can rebound after that early mishap, and seeing how long Richard Swavely can actually nurse these older tires and see if it'll work out for him. He's got a net 2-position gain right now. We'll see if he's able to hold that a little bit longer.
I like to caveat on that, Isaac, if I may, Eddie and Isaac. Yeah, Steven had that mishap, and wow, look at him. He's right up there, second row.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more impressed. I think I'm the most impressed with Josh Lokovitz is up there showing what he's got. He's been up there being racy, but also being smart. We haven't really seen too much, you know, just wild driving out of him. As looks like Shane Wyatt was given an EOL penalty there for maybe a choose cone violation, a late choose out of the 27. But getting ready to go green. We'll get that information for you as soon as we possibly can. But and actually, we're not going green. Extend it one more time, so we'll see if we can get that report from race control if Shane Wyatt was a choose cone violation or not.
Yeah, definitely on your comment on Josh. Loki's a great driver. I mean, he's got skill. He's competitive. He's if there was a bad luck award awarded to a driver, I would give it to my friend Josh Lokovitz. He races very well, very competitive, very respectful, but somehow, some way, he just ends up being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, Josh could definitely use a really good race tonight. He's doing exactly what he needs to do, staying up there in the top 5, not to get it too aggressive. We've already seen guys be really aggressive in some places, and that's kind of hurt them, make some contact, end up with some damage. And yeah, you got to do everything right, especially once you get to the choose cone and the stage racing moving forward. It's going to be really important that we that you do everything right, because it's going to be really hard to make it up. All right, getting ready to go green here, lap 57, coming to lap 58, just under halfway. All that we just did, we got to do it again. And I'm here for it. Green flag back out. Ross Harlow with control of the restart. Now Steven Stempien fighting for that second position, but Kyle Benson really gets a great run off the corner, but right behind him, Josh Lokovitz gets in the wall. No! Makes a little bit of contact with the wall. He saw him get a little bit out of the groove there in turn number 1. It really hurt his momentum, and he comes off of turn 2 and almost catastrophe, but now he's trying to fight off Adam Lancaster's and go down into 1 and 2 again, and now he's going to settle back in 6th place, but still able to hang on to it.
Yeah, it's a good recovery for sure.
Right in front of him is Richard Swavely, still holding on to that spot up here in 4th position. So those tires, while I think they're important, I think he did a great job of managing them and keeping them under him. And I think we got a report from Isaac about the number 27 car.
Actually, I have 2 penalty reports. We missed one. Stephen Harlow got the caution beforehand. Shane on this most recent caution, he was just a little bit too much in the middle. But Xfinity regulars returning, race control is just a little bit harsher on them because they have experience with this. They kind of should a little bit know better. Well, we actually have a battle for the lead right now.
Yeah, Kyle Benson to the inside of Ross Harlow. It's the first time we've seen Ross be challenged for the lead, and he's not giving it up easily, but that Dover, the way that it works, going to try a little crossover here. Drives up the track in 3 and 4, gets a great run. Now back down to the inside is Kyle Benson going to try to lean on him, but Kyle's been really able to make that outside work as the 19 pushes up a little bit, has to lift, not able to get such a good run. He's going to have to fall back to 2nd. So Kyle Benson back up front. Ross Harlow gets a little tap of the wall there. Now he's going to be battling with Steven Stempien as Kyle would like to be able just to pull away here and try to on board with Steven Stempien here.
Is Swaverly still off cycle, tire-wise?
He is, and watching his last couple laps, he seems to be really fighting that car. It seemed like he missed the bottom in 3 and 4 and lost a handful of positions. Went from 4th to 7th, and that car just looks like it's really angry right now.
Watch Ross Harlow start to push back towards that number 70 of Kyle Benson. Not wanting to let him get away. See Kyle running that higher line. I think that's probably my favorite type of line here at Dover is to enter in, let the car push up in the middle, and then turn down, drive off the bottom. I think that's a really great line. It's a lot of fun, too, and it really keeps that momentum. You get the speed down the straightaways that you need, and here comes Jonathan Cofield. He takes over 3rd spot from Steven Stempien, so the 58 showing his strength here. I'm telling you, he's really good. It's the reason why I picked him, and he is a fantastic Dover racer, and he's showing it right here. So he had a little bit of mishap, almost lost it earlier. I guess that's not an endorsement, but you see he's right back up here, about to be battling for 2nd.
I got big love for Ross, and I've got big love for Stimpy. But it's nice to see these Xfinity, who's going to be Xfinity regulars, really taking it to these boys. It really shows, the admins and even the admins in the Sunoco Cup Series that, hey, maybe we can pull these boys up after a year in Xfinity and see if they can't mix it up in the next gen cars in 2 seasons maybe.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the MPI series, a feeder series for the Sunoco Cup Series, so a lot of these guys are racing for the opportunity to race on Sundays with the Cup Series, and it's a lot of fun. The Xfinity Series is just a lot of fun, a lot of really good racing. Everybody's really respectful, at least the guys that I have had the pleasure of racing with. I really enjoyed my my season in the Xfinity series, and I think if you're looking for a series, you want a place to have some really good racing, some good hard racing, but clean for the most part. I definitely think this is a fantastic series to be a part of, so I can't wait to see what the spring series is going to bring for MPIs. We watch Alex Huffman. We haven't talked about him since the beginning of the race, and here he is passing Craig Lodgeschlager for 7th place. Is talking about the Xfinity series, the champion. Back here in 7th, he was up front, fell back a little bit, been working his way up through the field, but running pretty competitive lap times compared to the leaders. Going to come up on Josh Lokovitz, who starting to fall back a little bit, and he gets a massive run.
Yeah, I wonder if Josh has a little bit damage from when he scraped the wall. I don't think it's necessarily RPMs or engine damage, but maybe steering possibly in his cockpit. I mean, we can't tell that, but his car doesn't seem to rotate as much in the center. His entry isn't terrible, but when he approaches the apex, it seems like he's struggling a little bit steering-wise on getting through the center of the corner.
Here comes Stephen Harlow, somebody else we haven't talked about since the beginning of the race. I've seen him hit the wall quite a few times, and now he's looking to get back into the mix here as he's going to drive right down to the inside of Huffman. Huffman going to try the crossover as Harlow has to go a little wide on the exit, but able to take over that spot. Back up front, though, look at this little 3-car breakaway. That's how close these guys are working. I do want to take a small little weird break just to make sure the audio is right. Got some reports that the audio is a little bit off. So in chat, if y'all have can let us know what's going on. If somebody's too loud, somebody's too soft, the engine's too loud, too soft, let us know. And that way we can adjust on it. Been trying to do that thanks to some people in chat. So little small break, a little behind the curtains, but we definitely want it to sound good for y'all. As, man, look at Cofield get into the wall there as we continue to watch this battle. And it's probably the worst position for Ross Harlow here because he wants to make a move on Kyle, but if he doesn't make it, Jonathan Cofield's going to be all up in his stuff. Anybody?
Well, I'd like to caveat on what you said, or maybe it was Isaac. There's been good racing all night, some side by side, and just some good battles. But the skill and the respect level, I really enjoy the respect level that I'm seeing tonight. Nobody's driving reckless, nobody's getting the chrome horn yet, and it's good racing. But very respectful. So respect to all the people in the field tonight.
Everybody's probably too afraid of Miles getting just a little bit hungry and wanting a snack about mid-part through this race while they're trying to behave so much right now. My biggest thing right now is Eric Schaefer has been really impressive coming from almost dead end of the pack. He has made a lot of moves up front, and he's climbed just a little bit. He was about around roughly 2 seconds, a little bit, but these guys, there's cars in the front stretch wall. There for a little bit, he was falling out as far as time to the leaders, but he's actually climbed back in just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the biggest mover. We talked about him, a little bit earlier, and so far it's been really difficult to pass. I mean, Stimpian, who's now back in 6th place, he was able to drive up through the field, and some others as well. But Schaefer actually started in the back and has been able to continue push forward. So I'm not sure if I'm surprised or if it's just a great track for him, because I know he's really good at short tracks. But and I guess you can kind of call this one sort of a short track type race. And look at this battle for second. I mean, I just want to show more drivers out there, but Benson loving this is, man, Cofield all over the back bumper of that 19 machine as that race for second is really heating up right now.
It's a good battle with Schaefer and P6, I think, with Stimpian as well. Good 3, almost a 4-car battle a little bit further back.
Yes. I don't know if that damage from Steven or if he just drove the wheels off of it to get back up there in that top 5. He's starting to fall back just a little bit. Kind of let the parachute out a few laps ago and is really struggling here. He's going to get passed by Craig Lautenschlager. Stephen Harlow had already passed him a few laps ago, and now, if he's not careful, Blaine Wilson going to look to the inside.
I tell you who's probably screaming for some tires right now has got to be Richard Swaley, who's all the way back in 14th and just missed the bottom group again. He has been absolutely wheeling this thing, and he is probably praying for caution, a water bottle, anything at this point.
Oh, wow, yeah. Did not notice he had dropped back so far, but 62 laps on these tires. I can imagine he's probably going to end up getting a tire warning for too long. If he keeps that up, that right front will not be happy as he continues to slide back. I mean, he is a good 2/10 off of the pace. No, he is a second off the pace currently at the moment. We'll see as he crosses the line. We'll get an actual real lap. But last lap, Kyle Benson ran a 24.7. And, that time, Richard, a little bit faster, 24.9. So not that far off, but still struggling. Somebody right in front of him we talked about earlier, Josh Lokovitz. He was up there in the top 5, now all the way back to 15th. So we're seeing who can save tires and who is struggling with it, maybe pushing a little bit too early. And I think Lokovitz is somebody that will admittedly say that their tire saving is something he's really been trying to work on. You see Matthew Jorgensen get into the wall a little bit in that 51 machine. But back up front, continue to watch this battle. Cofield has not been able to get to the inside of the 19. At what point, guys, do you start to push the issue? You're sitting there riding on the bumper of the fella. He's doing such a great job. I mean, these cars do not react very well to, to bumps and stuff. If you give the bumper to the guy, it's pretty much going to spit him out. So what do you do? How do you get past the 19, who we know is really, really fast? What kind of moves can Jonathan Cofield maybe make to get this done?
I think if you're the points leader and in this position this late in the race, you got to just pull a move from NASCAR 2005 and just stay on that intimidate button and hope, as he's making a move right now, that just like that happens, Ross Harlow might actually make a mistake.
Yeah, Cofield had to go. I mean, Schaefer, you talked about it earlier. Schaefer now right on the back bumper as Harlow says, no, not a 2-for-1. He's like, you're not going to get a twofer out of me. Is now Schaefer going to have to fall back in line. But, man, gets right to the bumper of the 19. Actually has to check up. Does that allow Stephen Harlow to join this little battle here? So here comes Cofield, my pick. I picked him to win it. He needs to go out there and get it done. And, man, look, Harlow now coming down pit road. Maybe. Definitely looks like he is coming down pit road.
Well, talking about racecraft, that's the thing, too. When do you give the bumper to somebody but not wreck them? Now, that's something I don't have skill with. I can either wreck somebody or stay off from them and not get the position. So it's definitely a skill in racecraft to push or nudge somebody but not wreck them. And yeah, I don't have that. So Eddie, to your question, when do you give them the bumper? For me, never, because I don't have the skill to do it and do it without wrecking a guy. But if you got the skill to do it, I don't know when the point in the race is the right time. What are your thoughts, to throw it back to you, Eddie?
Well, I think you have to decide who you're racing with. Some people can actually take it, and you got some people, when you touch them, they'll just let go of the wheel and let that joker just roll on and wreck and then get mad at you. So it just depends on who you're racing. There's a couple drivers I feel like I can do that with and give them a bump, but I'm just not that type of driver. I don't think. I'm so scared of wrecking somebody, I don't want to do it. And so
except with me.
Yeah, except for you. That's right. Well, we're right in the middle of a pit cycle, so we're watching guys come down pit road. Harlow's have come down pit road, and this is a scary time to pit. I mean, they're pitting pretty early here, but if a caution comes out, they're really in trouble. Stephen Harlow down 2 laps, and Ross Harlow down 1. They're back in 17th and 18th. We've already seen Swavely come down pit road along with Shane Wyatt. So those 4 drivers making their pit stops early, which will give them time to get back on the track and try to make up that time on the track, do a little undercut. But it's a scary, scary moment as you do not want the caution to come out, as your race will pretty much be over if a caution comes out at this moment.
Yeah, that's a tough pill. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's a tough pill to swallow, pitting this early. But to answer you, Chuck, I think if you're ever going to give the bumper, Jonathan Cofield at that point, with Schaefer breathing down your neck, that's when you have to do it. But props to Ross to have the race awareness to really make I think it's more of a tire cycle than a fuel cycle. At that point, he knows that he's bested by Benson and Cofield. It's time to come get some tires to see what you can make happen on the long run if this thing does stay green. All right, Dakota, you can have it now.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was surprised that Ross pitting early didn't pique other more interest out of the drivers. You see one of the front runners come down pit road, like, hey, maybe I need to start making my way down too, or I might be up a certain creek without a paddle here if he gets back on the lead lap under his own power.
Well, and if you wait too long, I mean, we're closing in on 20 laps to go. If you wait too long, you're only gonna have 20 laps to make up what you got on those tires. Assuming these guys can't make it all the way, which I'm assuming they cannot. They would, most of them would be pitting, but you would rather come in early here, especially right now seems like a good time to come down pit road, because if you wait any longer, you're just not going to have the laps to take advantage of those tires and those guys that are out there right now. I mean, Ross Harlow running 23.5s where your leader's running 24.9s. That is a second and a half a lap that these guys are doing. That's a lot. And if you stay out too much longer, it may be too much to make back up here at the end of this thing.
Yeah, and both Harlows, they actually did go 2 laps down, but they've already gained 1 lap back, each, just from having the fresher tires and having that much more speed than the guys that stayed out.
Yeah, let's look at this speed. Let's look at the difference that tires make right here. Man, look at Steven Stippian again on these 4 fresh tires here. He's coming up to the back bumper of the 70 of Kyle Benson, and watch, just drive right by him. The middle of the corner is just unbelievable on those tires, and that's the difference that they've got. So, I mean, when do they come down pit road? Do they need to? That's a question I have is, is it possible? But, I mean, I wonder with this pace, new tires may be able to run you down. I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty big difference.
So just to clarify to all our viewers and our friends in the booth, that was a joke with myself and Eddie. Eddie never wrecked me. That was a joke. But back on the tire thing, now we're going to have a mixture of tires. We're going to have fresh tires, fast tires, not understanding speed or brake points. There, with the mixture of tires in the field now, there is a potential for cautions.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that already, just the closure speed, especially when you're racing, knowing that every tenth that you make up on track is going to be how where you may finish. And so you want to, maximize every single lap when you're out there on fresh tires. So if you have to check up for somebody or have to, slow down or wait on somebody, all that does is hurt your whole strategy here. So go check out Harlow here. He is 14th, but 1 lap down. He's still in the mid-23s as Kyle Benson just ran a 25 flat. So it is a pretty massive difference still.
I think this is going to come down to if there's a caution or not a caution.
Well, I'm curious about a couple of guys here as we're on board with Ross Harlow as he's trying to do exactly that, get up towards the front. We've got some guys like Cody Kinsey who pitted 50 laps ago. Can he make it on fuel? I mean, we've got guys out here that are they're still out on track. Kyle Benson, the whole top 5, and they may just be saving fuel. I don't know. They've been on the track since the last pit stop, 66 laps. So if they can't make it on fuel, I think Cody Kinsey absolutely can.
I know both sides absolutely have to be holding their breath. One side not wanting a caution, the other side wanting a caution. I know at about 10 laps left, if we did get a caution, strategies would blow all of our minds. You have guys staying out, Guys taking waiver rounds, other ones pitting. It'd be a wild, wild finish to this thing.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Isaac. It's just at this point in the race with the mixture of tires, people that are pitted, not pitted, it's about tires now, fellas. It feels out the window. Feels out the window on the second caution if people refield. At this point, guys stayed out. They don't want a caution. Guys that did pit, they want a caution. I mean, everything's up for grabs if and when the caution comes out.
We actually have a newcomer into the top 3 right now. Blaine Wilson is climbing. He's already got around Eric Schaefer. And if this thing goes all the way to the end, we're have a three pony race at the horse show, man. If I said that right, I don't think I did.
We knew what you meant. Yeah, I mean,
Right, horse show, yeah.
you don't know. I mean,
Right.
you don't know if some guys might come in and try to get like a splash of fuel if they can't, if they're that close, you come down pit road. But I just don't think that's going to work out. I think that Ross Harlow is going to make up enough time that won't work. Ross has already made up basically a whole lap. And so you come down pit road at all, you're giving Ross the lead. So I think if these guys can't make it on fuel, which I don't hear them saving, I mean, they're still running. They're obviously on older tires, so they can't use as much gas, but I don't see them clutching or doing anything crazy. So if they can't make it, I got to say, man, I'm looking at Cody Kinsey back in that 6th position as the guy just sitting around waiting, hoping these guys run out of fuel. But we got just 10 laps to go. Kyle Benson still out front, and it is a tight top 5. 2/10 or a second separate first through fifth, having a stroke. And Greg Lautenschlager, we always kind of like, how is he in the lead in the points? This is how. This is exactly how he is the points leader at the moment. We don't talk about him that much, and here at the end of the race with 9 laps to go, here he is in the 4th spot looking to try to take over and get into a podium position. That is how he is in the points lead. Just an incredible race out of him so far. We haven't talked about him really hard at all, just hanging out in the top 10, but now at the end of this thing, he's up here battling, may have a chance for the win.
Blaine Wilson's trying his hardest to get P2 right now, and he is driving this thing like he stole it.
Yeah, I think now's the time you're going to have to start giving them the bumper taps. Give them 3, and if they don't move on the 4th one, then just send them packing because you've got places to be.
So sorry, Dakota. Oh, they make contact. Kyle Benson goes around. Your leader spins, and caution is out. Well, I think that's that pressure that Isaac was just talking about, where Cofield feeling the pressure and says, "Hey, I gotta go." And then, but unfortunately for Kyle Benson, that was on the back bumper of his machine. Let's go back and check it out. Catch it right there, yeah. Just comes right around. We'll go on board with Jonathan Cofield. He's feeling the pressure. Benson really driving it hard deep into the corner. And then the slightest of taps. And I don't know if they got a little bit of... It's hard to see where did maybe Blaine get into the 58? I don't think so. Yeah. Try to get a slower view at this, but right here. No, the 58 just gives the 70 a bump. I think just trying to move him up out of the groove. And, yeah, when it did, just went around, guys.
Right. I'm on race comps as well, fellas. And Cofield owned up to it. Good integrity. Good job, Cofield, for your integrity. But he admitted that not intentionally, but he owned up to it. He said it was his bad on race comps. So, good integrity for Cofield.
Had a couple guys stay out there. Blaine Wilson actually pitted from the lead with a couple of other guys there. So, like I said, it's about to get spicy.
Well, from the way that it looks on the scoring pylon, Craig Lautenschlager is in massive trouble because Blaine Wilson pits from the lead and comes out in second. That's about as good as it gets. We talked about those who came down pit road. Ross Harlow going to stay out on 24 lap old tires. He is in 5th. And then everybody else outside of those two, second, third, fourth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, all on brand new tires. I don't know. If you're Craig, you got to be feeling like, ooh, I'm on an island by myself.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the top four is in big trouble, or top five. Sorry, I think they're in big trouble because Ross, he is back on the lead lap, and he's not gonna hold nothing back. The gloves are off. He's getting ready to throw some hellacious haymakers right here.
Oh, Ross actually goes down pit road.
Well, scratch that.
Well, yeah, I think there's only
He got the free
10.
pass.
Well, yeah, well, there's
So-
only 10 cars on the lead lap, so I mean, it's not going to be the worst thing. But yeah, I think it's just the free pass, like Isaac said.
If you're the front runners, obviously leader does what he does. What do you do? High side, low side? What's y'all's opinion?
I think if you're Blaine, you go wherever Craig's not, and I think wherever Craig goes, I think you'll see guys stack up. I think you might see second and third stack up in their own lane, because no offense to Craig, but 77 laps on these tires, he is going to be basically a chicane up front. So he's going to have the advantage of getting away early, but I think the shoes are going to be pretty damn important here. But I think Dakota's point still stands, because Ross Harlow's going to be in 10th, and I think everything you said is still going to apply here. I don't think we're on our last caution, so he's got plenty of opportunities to get back up front.
Yeah, these laps go by fast, though, fellas. That's another thing. Short track. It's
Here we
not
go.
a-
Here's the choose.
Not a mile and a half.
Wow, I'm
Short
surprised.
track.
Look how many people go to the top there. Ooh, somebody's going to get a penalty. I think that's Kyle Benson, who went right through the middle. So the 70 definitely going to go to the back there. That was pretty cut and dry. I don't think there'll be any question about that one. But impressed to see Jonathan, you see, pulls out a line here, the 70, Kyle Benson. Just a late call there on that choose. Somebody that's a little bit new to the choose cone, so it's going to happen. And we've all been bit before. But I'm surprised to see Jonathan Cofield take that bottom line. You see a lot of folks went up to the top just to kind of avoid that bottom lane. But maybe Cofield can make it 3 wide, jump down to the bottom here on this start. But it's going to be important that he gets away with Craig and is able to clear Blaine, or he's going to be kind of roadblocked here. But here we go. 2, 3, and 4. 4 laps to go. Coming to 3. And we got a race on our hands. We're going to stay right here on the pack. As I can imagine, this should be pretty wild.
Yeah, the proverbial pay window is now open.
Yeah, into the Geico restart zone. Craig going to try to get away, spins the tires. Oh, we got him wrecking in the back. Jorgensen goes around. Josh Lokovitz goes around. We stay green. We're going to stay right here. Caution comes out. Some little bit of tire spin there on that restart. And Matthew Jorgensen all toe up. Go back and see exactly what happened there. We were watching the lead. Oh, we're a little bit behind. If maybe we can see exactly what happened here. Jorgensen, that white and black there on the bottom. Probably going to see a little bit of tire spin. Oh, can't see who that was. Right? Who's that?
Stubblefield.
Tire spin or misshift. One of the two.
Yeah, Stubblefield right here. Going to watch him spin his tires. Just not able to get going with the rest of the field. And Jorgensen gives him a little bit of bump, and that makes it worse in these cars. He lifts the back end off, and it's just a
Once again, Josh Loki got caught up in that. Again, wrong
Yeah.
place, wrong time for Loki. Great run for Loki.
watch it one more time here from the point of view of Alex Huffman. And you see Alex trying to slow up, but he's got people behind him too. And gave him one little bump that said, hey, I got to go. I'm going to go ahead and just move you out of the way. Well, Alex going to be in the 14th spot, but I mean, this is about the best thing that can happen for Craig as he is out here still with the lead under caution. Now we will get the green-white checkered. And see, that's Steven Stempian going around for the Lucky Dog. He's going to be back on the lead lap in 11th place. Should be able to go down and get tires and But I mean, right now, Craig wants to see that same thing happen over and over again. He's going to have 3 green, white checkers.
Right, this is 1 of 3.
Yeah, and so if we get a caution, we'll do it again. We get another caution, we'll do it again. If we get the white flag at any point, the next flag will end the race, which will be a checker. They don't throw cautions on the white flag lap, so if the leader takes the white flag, we will race to the finish. And you know, the only scenario that I see Craig winning this race, and y'all can definitely be devil's advocate for this, is if we go through all of those before we get to turn 3. If we get a caution, 2 more cautions before turn 3, I think he's got a good shot. You can get through turn 1 just fine. The tires are cool. But I think once we get to turn 3, I think either Blaine or Cofield will just be able to sail right on by him.
Yeah, I went to MRMS Racing to talk to them. Craig said he absolutely understood he made the wrong choice on that. He was kind of hoping that he can at least just pull off a top 10 from only being 10 guys on the lead lap. Now we have 11 from Steven getting it. It's hard for him to lose all the way to the back. While I was there, I asked Eric Schaefer how he was feeling, if he had a chance to win this thing, and all he said was, "Oh yeah."
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, we've already seen what people are. I mean, like I said, I don't think, and I think somebody in chat said didn't look intentional. I think I 100% agree. I think none of this stuff has been intentional. I think it's just been a product of this racing. It's been amazing. This car just, honestly, I will say this is one of the best ones on the oval. Just such a fun car to drive, and they put a lot of time into it. The setups are really good most of the time, so a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it's just because we're having this close racing that just one mistake, one lapse in judgment is all that it takes. But I think we might be coming to the choose right now. We'll see. Yep, we are. Greg going to go to the bottom. Blaine going to go to the top. And again, Cofield going to the bottom. Some guys really making sure they choose.
Yeah,
Nobody.
I think we're going to have some EOL.
Uh-oh.
Right there.
Yeah, Adam Lancaster for sure is going to the back. Of course, he's 2 laps down. He's probably fine with it, honestly.
Yeah, I think maybe the 14 of Christopher Bishop. I think he wasn't totally straight, so he might get one too.
Well, all right. Well, here we go. Another restart. What can Craig Lautenschlager, your points leader, do? Can he hang on to it? Or will Blaine Wilson, Jonathan Cofield be able to take the win? Both really deserving. And Eric Schaefer sneak in there from the 4th position, or Cody Kinsey. Cody Kinsey won the very first race last season in the MPI Xfinity Series. We haven't really talked about him that much, so we'd love to see him get back in victory lane, and he's got a good opportunity to do that. But here we go. Green, white, checkered, number 1. Craig Lautenschlager needs to get a good start. Don't spin those old tires. Can he not do it? Or is it even possible? We'll see if he can get away into the Geico restart zone. He goes and gets a pretty good jump, but I think Cofield's got a good one. Cofield might have tried to look down to the inside. Here we go. Blaine Wilson with a big run. If somebody gets a little bit loose, I think that's Cody Kinsey. Gets up out of the groove. We stay here for the lead, though, is Blaine Wilson. Going to go around Craig on the outside. Takes over the lead. 2 laps to go as here comes Cofield along the outside. Does he have enough time? He gets a run. Does he have enough time to run down Blaine Wilson? Blaine a little bit slower in 1 and 2, but white flag is out. Down the back stretch. Oh, we got cars going everywhere. We're going to stay on Blaine as we come to 3 and 4. Cofield has nothing for him, and Blaine Wilson is going to win as Cody Kinsey is spinning across the line. Oh, what a finish.
Yeah, I think we need to get the AMR safety team to check on Alex Huffman. He went for a flip there.
That's off to Craig finishing 5th there, man.
Yeah, great job on those tires. Let's go look at Alex up in there, see if we can go back here on this restart. We kind of got a little sneak peek of it right here, but we'll see what happened to the 2. And it's just, you can see there's just so many cars. You know it's coming. It's just like it's like a bunch of landmines had 4 tires, and you just drive them in there together. That's all this is. Here you go, 3 wide. Stephen Harley. Some people get loose. 14 makes contact, and here we go. Alex Huffman going for a ride up into the catch fence. Making up words over here, and man, go on board with it. Watch this. And nobody's lifting at this point. I mean, they're just going to push right on through. Woo! That's one of those where everything slows down. You start praying for whatever God you believe in.
Charles Stevens, top 5, number 4.
Oh, heck. He's up on the fence, and I don't know. We might need to blur this out. Is this rated PG? I don't know. My goodness. Pennzoil and Parker Bland there in that number 3. What a wreck. And there's Richard Swavely, unfortunately for him, involved in that one as well. So, well, what a finish, guys. That was pretty sweet. I tell you what, let's take a break. Let's do some commercials, and we'll come back for your interviews, and we'll talk to them just right after this. We'll be right back.
Let's meet the supply chain technology lineup. Coil machines, a powerful combination of access, control, and traceability. Sensor devices, take what you need. The device reports who, what, and how much. Multi-use lockers, vend bulk items, manage assets, and pick up orders. And electronic bins, avoid stockouts with 24/7 inventory monitoring. The key to the game, a local blue team to keep your supply chain moving full speed ahead. Fastenal, where industry meets innovation.
All righty, we are back after an exciting race at Dover, one of the best races all season long. But I tell you what, guys, we got to go back and look at one more look at that last little mayhem. Steven Stempian, watch this as he gets through this wreck here. Holy moly. I mean, that is that is wild right there as he's able to make it all the way through that. We'll watch that from a different angle as you watch the 81 here. I mean, keeps his foot in it. Days of Thunder style. The track just clears out right in front of him. Look, everything happening. What an amazing job. I mean, he did drive a little bit. He got on the brakes, and that's just that's amazing driving out of the 81, able to get that thing wound up just enough to get through that thing. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, that was man, what a fun race. I mean, Dover always delivers. That's for sure. What do you say, Chuck?
Oh my God, it was amazing. I mean, great racing. Just, just, I got nothing. Wow, it was amazing, and it's good to see the boys getting at it, and it was pretty clean all race long. You know, we had some cautions, but oh my God, great racing.
Yeah, Dakota, man, what do you think? They turn out like you think it would? I mean, I don't think did anybody pick Blaine Wilson?
No, and I don't. I don't think we expected him to be up there, and he actually, exceeded any expectations that he may have had. I'm still just trying to catch my breath from that last flat mayhem. That was that was wild.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll get some interviews for y'all real quick and try to get some guys in here. But man, I think we're gonna do something a little bit different this time. And I think we're gonna start with the let's start with your winner this week, I believe. I think we'll talk to Blaine Wilson first. And that way the winner is not the one waiting so long. So we'll get Blaine Wilson up in here and we'll talk to him. Blaine, this Eddie, Chuck, Dakota, and Isaac in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up?
Man, congratulations. What a fantastic win. A wild race, but it looked like it was a lot of fun out there. That 18 machine looked really good, that CBC Esports. Well, I guess it's the Camry. As I'm looking at your car right here, but you led 3 laps, but the most important one, you're able to get the win there on that last restart. Man, talk about your race. What was that 18 car driving like here tonight?
We were hooked up in the practice. I wasn't quick. I was putting, 10th place lap times down, but that's how you run Dover. Slow and steady, kept it low, was patient with the passes, took gaps when I saw them, and we saved enough tire. I think if it went green all the way at that last run, I think we were going to win it anyway. We were running down people left and right. Lap times were consistently the fastest car on the track. My spotter, Nigel, played a key role tonight, helped me out a ton, but it was a blast. Glad we could have some clean racing up front there, and it was a fun last few laps for sure.
Well, you were putting a lot of pressure on Jonathan Cofield in that 58 machine there. Right before that contact with Kyle Benson, you were putting pressure on him, and he kind of was putting a little bit of pressure on Kyle. But, I mean, talk a little bit about how hard it seemed to be to pass. I mean, you were able to, on those long runs, kind of push up in the middle, drive off the bottom. It seemed to help you out a lot to get those passes done. But once you got up to the top 3, it seemed like it was just so tough. We saw you really trying to charge the entry to try to get that inside position. What was the key to try to make passes other than the front 2 wrecking themselves? You drive on by.
Yeah, you can kind of set it up off of one corner. If you get a good run down either the back or the front stretch, you can set it up to get your nose on the inside heading into the corner. That makes it a lot easier. That bottom groove in the long run scenario is definitely where you want to be. You just get great exit, good speed through the center, and if you got the tires to do it, it'll stick, and it did for us, and it's a ton of fun.
Well, able to get the win. You had that final restart. I think everybody knew it, and Craig Lautenschlager even knew that he had made a mistake. And we saw the last couple chooses sort of everybody was choosing around what Craig was doing. You had to feel pretty confident being outside on the front row. But, what were the thoughts in the last 2 restarts, trying to figure out where to go with those old tires out in front of you?
I knew he was going to help me if I could get on the opposite side of him, of course. He was going to be a pick for me, which he did turn out to be, which was great. But I was a little nervous because, like I said, in the practice, I was like the 10th fastest car. I didn't qualify well. I don't have that short run speed here. I'm just so used to patience and consistency that I don't have that. And luckily, it worked out well. We got a really good restart, was able to clear pretty early, and got a sizable gap. And when I looked back in the mirror, saw the gap, I knew it was over at that point. So we got lucky for sure, but it was a ton of fun, and the patience paid off this race.
All right. Well, man, congratulations, Blaine, on a great win here. First one in ARCA here at Dover. To me, this is sort of a crown jewel. This combination, so that'd be one I'd want to win for sure. So congratulations to you, and as always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to CNC Esports, Alex Coffey, Johnny Shade, my spotter tonight, Nigel, stepping in. He was a ton of help. Everybody out on track, they're clean racers, good to race around. I'm not scared of anybody out on the track, which is a good thing. Just fun racing overall, and we'll be back here hopefully next week. We'll definitely be back here talking to y'all.
All right, well, there you have it. Blaine Wilson comes away with the victory tonight in that number 18 machine, and he'll take home the victory for CBC, I believe, Esports. I think I said that right. But I think, Chuck, I think you're caught up here with Jonathan Cofield who came home in second place.
Hey, Cofield, it's Chuck up here, Chuck Pegleg up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Well, first of all, congratulations for a podium. Not quite the premier podium, but well done. I mean, great race. You always a great pick to be up in the top 5 at least. But 2 questions for you. What do you think about the choose cone? I don't know if you have done that before or not, so tell me about that, and then take me through your race, sir.
Yeah, I like to choose cone. You know, I run probably 10 Xfinity series races with y'all last season, so yeah, I was pretty used to it, knew what to do. So, but yeah, race was pretty good. Had a lot of fun up there racing with the Harlow guys. You know, I kind of was able to stick with them. You know, I'm usually pretty good with the ARCA car, but it didn't quite drive like the ARCA car I've been used to in the past. So I kind of had to spend all practice getting kind of used to it.
I gotcha. Well, what do you feel about the strategy aspect of the choose cone? Big strategy thing? Not necessarily a strategy thing.
Yeah, you got to think about it. I know right there, the last few laps, those last 2 cautions we had together, you know, had one car on the inside on old tires, and I just sat there trying to think, you know, do I take the outside? Do I take the outside? And I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to the inside. Maybe I can beat the 18 or the leader will get a good launch. But yeah, there's some strategy into it, most definitely.
I gotcha. Well, congratulations on your top 2. Great run for you. As always, you definitely a top pick for sure. Uh, who do you have to thank or give shout outs to, et cetera, et cetera?
The first thing I want to do is apologize to the 70. That was completely unintentional. The 18 was kind of giving me pressure. I was trying to give the 70 pressure and had all these cars with 4 fresh tires, you know, bobbing in between all of us. So it just kind of got hectic. So I just wanted to apologize for that. But I want to thank Big Fish Motorsports for letting me come in and hang out with them. SM Racing Products, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Cofield Supply and Service, Sim Shop, everybody at BSRN, Eddie, you, everybody that puts this on, Fastenal for coming on, sponsoring our little winter series, and all the admins that put it on.
All right. Well, thank you and good job, Bob.
There you have it. Second place, Jonathan Cofield, and Isaac Mock is caught up with your third place finisher, Eric Schaefer.
Hey, Eric, how's it go up in your booth, buddy? I stopped with you on the end of that last caution, asked you if you had anything for it. All you told me was, oh, yeah. So how'd that end go for you there?
Not good. I went in there on top of Craig and about spun it in front of the entire field. So I just decided to back off a little bit and just take the P3.
I'd ask you if there's anything you thought you could do differently there, but I kind of feel like what you'll say on that one.
Oh yeah, probably take the bottom.
Yeah, man. Congrats on the podium. We got Milwaukee next week. I'm gonna tag myself in. You got any pointers for me going into next week?
Save the right front as hard as you can, man. Back up the corner a lot there on entry, and especially in the 1, and arc the apron on the exit of 2. But that one's tricky in this car. It depends on the time of day and the track temp on how much you can save your tires.
Gotcha. Absolutely. I appreciate it. You're in a tight battle at the beginning, top end of these points leading into the back half of the season. What you need to close this thing out?
Need to get me a win, man. Be consistent. Try to get me a win, but just more than anything, just try to be consistent like I have been. Try to keep my nose clean, not mess around with nobody, and yeah, just be consistent. Try to finish on the podium every time.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, good luck to you to begin to end this thing. Any shout outs, Hayes or hollers you got going on?
Yeah, man. Huge shout out to y'all for a awesome broadcast like y'all always put on. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Fastenal sponsoring the league. Shout out to ProGuard and all the admins for everything they do. It's pretty cool to be in here with all y'all. And give a little shout out to all the DVR guys and the Teamer guys, man. We all have fun together in all the leagues. So just shout out to everybody.
All right. Well, there you have it. Eric Schaefer comes home in third place. What a great race that was. We'll take a look at the results in just a second and see where everybody finished and give you the full scope of the race and how it all ended up. And I think Chuck mentioned it a little bit earlier, but man, look at Charles Stevens there in the number 9, coming away with a 4th place finish. What a great finish for him. And Craig Lautenschlager, points leader. I mean, just impressive stuff, man. To be not really hanging around in the front there at the end. He was up front, battling, then stays out on old tires on a last restart. He comes home in 5th, man. Just an impressive. I don't think he gets enough shout outs. I think we're going to have to start paying more attention to him. I think he's been flying under the radar. So, Craig, nobody is fooled anymore. You're all on the radar, and you are the man to beat so far, as you've been incredibly consistent all year long. Johnny Shea comes home in 6th place after starting in 22nd. He's going to be your biggest mover of the night for sure. A great finish out of him. CNC well represented with Alex Coffey out of this one. They're doing a great job. Kyle Benson, heartbreak. There's a hard luck award. He is going to be it. Just a tough finish for him. Steven Stippian there on that last little restart, putting on a show. He was up, driving up through the field. He put on a wild show in the 81. Definitely would love to have this one back. I think he had race winning speed for sure. Cody Kinsey there was sideways there on the last restart. And then Ross Harlow led a lot of laps, started up front, and comes home in 10th after that pit strategy went awry. So in 11th, it's going to be Christopher Bishop, Stephen Harlow in 12th, Shane White going to come home in 13th spot, Barry Knapp in 14th. Alex Huffman goes for a ride there at the end, comes home in 15th. Richard Swavely got up front, led some laps, comes home in 16th. Josh Lokowitz comes home in 17th. Adam Lancaster in 18th. Timothy Stubblefield in 19th. Matthew Jorgensen rounds out your top 20. Parker Bland in 21st. 22nd, Jason Hastings. And Alex Coffey going to get those last place points after doing a little start and park here tonight. 6 cautions, 6 lead changes. A pretty solid race. A great way to kick off this particular round of the MPI or the Fastenal Xfinity series. So, got some reads that we got to do. We're going to shorten them up a little bit this week, but we definitely appreciate all of our sponsors and Fastenal. You know, if you don't know what inventory you have on hand, where it's at, how quickly it's being used, and you need supply chain visibility, FMI technology lets you monitor inventory, track assets, and control consumables. So if you've got some inventory that needs to be tracked, go check out Fastenal, Fastenal.com. Definitely appreciate them for sponsoring this series. It's so awesome to have a sponsor like that. Also want to thank SimWrap Market for their sponsorship of like the last few races, actually giving away paint schemes, and honestly, SimWrap Market puts on puts a great looking car on the track. You've got Shane White every week, got a SimWrap Market car out there, and his always look really, really good. So definitely go check them out. And then we also want to thank MPI Max Pappas for their support of the Xfinity series, and just an incredible organization to have a part of your league. I mean, just a renowned leader in steering wheel and safety innovation for elite motorsports teams. And check MPI out at maxpappasinc.com and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Well, all right. Well, that is it for. We'll take a look at the schedule one more time. Going to Milwaukee Mile next week in Phoenix, so that should put on a good show. Guys, final thoughts here as we get into we get ready to close this out here at Dover.
Well, I'm just excited to see next week because that's the last week before we get into the Truck Series. I believe, don't quote me on that, but looking at the schedule, this is the last week before we go into another vehicle, and it's only going to ramp up, and I'm just excited.
Yeah, just I think the first race of each of these different cars, it really sets the tone for how the other races kind of is going to play out. So if the rest of these ARCA races anything like tonight, I think y'all are in for a real treat. And just want to shout out, the drivers and the fans that stay in the chat. Eddie for letting us come and fumble mouth around in the booth a little bit. It's definitely makes for a fun Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me this week. Lord be with me next week as I try to figure out these things around Milwaukee Mile. I'm probably going to look completely lost, but maybe somewhere in there I'll find some strategy or a lucky horseshoe and make my way to the front of the thing, give you guys something to watch. Well, I'm here for it. It's going to be a good time. So come out next week as we head to Milwaukee Mile. It's going to be a fantastic show. The ARCA car, I think, is the first little race here shows what the potential is for the racing of this car. So yeah, just looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting into the trucks after that. Just take a look at this one more time. And you see, got Michigan, Knoxville Dirt, which I think will be a great wild card. And then, man, look at that Daytona to send us to the Xfinity. And a great point by Charles Progar. Chris Progar is that it's a build-up. This whole season has been a build-up, starting with short track, everybody kind of getting used to each other, but by the time you get used to a car, you kind of have to move on from it. And then you move to the ARCA trucks, you start to implement things like stages once it comes down to the truck. And then when you get to the Xfinity Championship round at Old Atlanta, it will be just like all the format will be exactly like it'll be in the Xfinity series moving forward in the spring. So definitely a great way to introduce. I think it's a great job by everybody to introduce everybody to how things go around here. And tonight we saw the choose cone be a big part of it, and some interesting calls, some EOLs, some penalties for it. So looking forward to seeing how the next weeks go. Want to thank all our sponsors, thank Chris Progar, everybody that puts effort into getting this thing going every single week. And definitely want to thank Chuck, Dakota, and Isaac in the booth. You guys did an amazing job. Definitely makes things a lot easier when y'all are here. So thank everybody for watching. Hope y'all had a great night, and we will see y'all next time.